United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, since we did not have a quorum at the April meeting, I did make some notes about the presentation that was made by Mr. Hartig, from manager of the Detroit River International Wildlife Refuge, who gave a presentation. And so there'll be no official minutes to approve, so I think we can just move on to the next item, which is the are there any revisions to the agenda that's been presented?
I think we're fine with it.
Bert, any changes to the agenda? Woody?
I don't, is this is the agenda? Right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. So we'll move along to the reports. Carl Bletcher, unfortunately, could not be here tonight. He got called away with a professional issue with his legal firm that he could not get out of, so he was excused. But he asked me to report that we are in negotiations with a couple of property owners concerning some purchase of additional open space. I cannot go into the details, nor should I, because it deals with negotiations which are very intense at this particular point in time. And when we get to the conclusion where we can present it to the Township Board, we will do so. Bert, is there anything to report as far as the Grosseal Nature Land Conservancy is concerned?
Yes. So the Conservancy just had an Earth Day event on Saturday, April 22nd, and that was very successful. We had many presentations and kids' activities. One thing I'd like to point out is the police chief came and talked about the medicine collection program for disposal at the police department. So that's something that, everyone may not know about, but you can bring your old medications, pills, because they don't collect inhalers or needles or liquids, and have those disposed of responsibly. You mentioned that in the past, a lot of times disposal was done just, people were told just to flush them down their toilets, and so unfortunately that has led to an environmental problem. So these medications are getting into the water system. Our wastewater treatment plants can't take them out, and so they end up even in our fish. So fish have been tested and found to have Valium in it. So this is it's a safe disposal. It keeps prescription and over-the-counter medications and even illegal drugs out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them. It keeps our children safe, and it also protects the environment. So that was one of the things that happened at our Earth Day event. And then we have a lot of events coming up in May. And I don't see the overhead projector on.
Have it on for you, I think, if you'd like to put it on the overhead.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Does the overhead work? I believe it does.
Have to get the guy out of the room. Yeah, Bill, knock on the door and wake him up.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
He's not listening to us.
Okay, I hope everyone remembers getting this postcard in the mail. This was a mailer that was sent to all homeowners on Grosseal to let them know about the events coming up. That was the other side, and the events were coming up this Saturday, May 6th. There's a garlic mustard pull meeting at Meridian Elementary School at 9 o'clock. On Sunday, there's a program, Birds and Blooms, at the Wildlife Sanctuary on Thoroughfare and Horse Mill. And so that's going to be a presentation about spring birds and blooms. Also, starting on Sunday at 1 o'clock, the open houses that are hosting by the Conservancy at the Gibraltar Bay Unit and the Airport Nature Area. And so that's every Sunday from 1 to 4 through October 29th. So that means that the airport property will be open on those Sundays. Of course, the Gibraltar Bay Unit is open every day, dawn to dusk. This coming Wednesday, May 10th at 5 p.m., that's the deadline for the Conservancy's High School Nature Photo Contest. And the details are at ginlc.org. So that's a photo contest for high school students, electronic photos. The categories are Wild Critters, My Park Pick, Waterway Magic. There's cash prizes, and so your entry should be submitted electronically. And there's an entry form, ginlc.org, if you click on Photo Contest for the entry form. And coming up on Saturday, May 13th at 9 a.m., the Hennepin Marsh Gateway Cleanup and Invasive Plant Removal is at Meridian Road and at Annette Avenue. Saturday, May 20th is Birds of the Bay at 9 a.m. at the Gibraltar Bay Unit. And Saturday, May 27th at 9 a.m. is the Intrepid Pond Cleanup and Tree Planting at Meridian Road at Intrepid. So just want everybody to know what's happening and hope that folks will come out.
Bert, the document that we're looking at right now, is that available online? And they go onto the Conservancy website and get that information?
Well, we'll post it. Everybody should have received the postcard at their house with that information, and hopefully it should be on your refrigerator or someplace handy, but if it's not, I'll make sure that it's also posted on our
Might
website.
be a good idea.
Events do get put on Groseal Connect and places like that.
Bert, thank you very much. Is there anything else? Okay, thank you. Leah, could you give us an update on the activities at the Recreation Commission, please?
I'll be happy to. I apologize for my tardiness, and I will be leaving early. I have another meeting I'm supposed to be at the same time I'm here. So if you have your channels, that has everything in it that probably needs to be reported. I drove by the golf course coming here. There were at least a dozen cars parked at the driving range, so it's open and ready to go. The leagues begin next week, little practice rounds this week. Pool will open after school is out, probably around June 15th, depending on how the summer goes. And, of course, remember the Island Fest, which is June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There will be a huge a soccer tournament that will be all over the island. Any place there's a soccer field, about 100 teams have. It's filled. It's been sold out for that. We have a new director who will be full-time starting May 15th. And she's in and out right now, kind of making the transition from where she's going. Her name is Kim O'Farrell. So if you have any questions, that's kind of it. We'll be meeting to take care of any kind of summer issues and so forth next month.
What's her name again? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Kim O'Farrell.
O'Farrell.
Mm-hmm. We had three really great candidates. They each brought different strengths, and the township board chose Ms. O'Farrell. So if you have questions, I'm here. Otherwise, good to see you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Leo. Mitch, could you tell us anything that's happening at the Grosse Ile schools, how it interfaces with the open space, and if there's anything that we should be doing as far as the Open Space Committee is concerned?
I really have nothing to report pertaining to the schools. Thank you.
I would just add that they had a great musical this weekend at the high school. They did Little Women. I didn't get to see it, but I heard that it was spectacular and beautifully done.
Mitch, I would appreciate if you could get in touch with the principal of maybe the senior high and the junior high school, and in other words, make sure that they are always invited to have to tour the open space trails that we have at the north end of the island, namely the Wildlife Sanctuary, and the new trail that we have across from the Meridian School. I think the biology departments and the nature departments of the school system would benefit by, having some children take conducted tours through those two trails. So if you could do that for me, I would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Pam, anything from the Beautification Committee?
Apologize for being late for the meeting. I think everybody knows there's going to be a new newspaper in town, and I got a call today that would I go to the Historical Museum and get a picture taken with the first printing press that published the eel camera back in 1945 by and for kids. So I'm just coming from there for a quick picture of an old-time printing press. Beautification Council of Southeastern Michigan is going to be our guest on June 15th at the Ford Yacht Club, and the Island Beautification Committee is hosting this, and the theme is going to be historic preservation, and we've lined up several homeowners of the historic district that are going to tell how they've kept their home vibrant and in good condition after all these years, because many of them were built during the Civil War time. And I just found out today from the gal from the Beautification Council of Southeastern Michigan that community members, if they're interested in the subject, they're certainly invited to come to the meeting. It's going to be at the Ford Yacht Club. The price includes lunch and the program for $15, and there'll be information out about it. One of our members, Colleen Gimbel, has made 16 miniature lighthouses that are going to be on all the tables, and I have a painting here that one of our members made, and if you're interested, maybe I passed this down last week. Irma Slimko, who's on our committee, she's a weeder extraordinaire, but she's also an artistic person. And this is going to be raffled off at the program on the 15th of June, and along with the 16 miniature lighthouses.
They're going to be raffled off too, or they're
The little lighthouses will be raffled off, and along with this beautiful painting of the lighthouse. So that's coming up. We're sending the invitations out, and we usually get between 50 and 100 people from all over the southeastern Michigan that are involved with their beautification committees and commissions. So that's coming up mid-June. And if anybody's interested in coming to the program, they're certainly welcome to join us for the lunch at the Ford Yacht Club. That's it.
Thank you very much, Pam. All right, the next item on the agenda is there time for some public comments concerning the open space. If there are any, recognize Bill Heil. Yes.
we do, Mitch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I listened to him. I missed it. Okay. turn the sound on.
No, I don't know how to do that.
You have to get the guy in the room again.
I see in mic 14.
Now you're on.
Got it. You're good. You're on. You just got to be a little closer to it.
Okay,
Testing, testing. Yeah.
thank you. I'd been here a while back when there had been conversation going on about the dump. And some conversation, too, about the possibility of future purchases of property. And that concerns me as a citizen for a number of reasons. Part of it's from my own life experience. That dump probably procedurally could have been handled in a different way, which, if everything went wrong, would have been a better way for us over time. My experience in dealing with businesses was that if they didn't follow the procedures that were the standards that were accepted, and then some plaintiff came after them for whatever purpose, the fact that they were remiss in adhering to the standards, in court they really paid for that. Now, I'm not saying everybody gets sued, but when those days come, you wish the heck that you had. And I know that you've had conversation about talking to the board about taking the dump back. It's their responsibility to deal with the issues of the environment and that sort of thing. And it seems reasonable to suggest that that was an appropriate procedure. I'd pat you on the back for that and encourage you to make the recommendation that you no longer carry that. You might even ask them for, I think the price of that dump, if I remember, was allocated from your funds was something like $100,000. Whatever the amount was, ask them for the money back. You can use it. But follow those procedures and remind them that it was recommended that they have a fence around that. I think that just to do that is a responsible thing. In terms of new purchases, I'm reaffirming again that when you do that as part of your procedure, you do get, I believe, some appraisals for proper value. But in addition to that, which would be new, I think the soils or the air or whatever around there should be tested to make sure that it's safe. It's just good procedure. It's something that is commonly done. I don't believe that we have commonly done that in the past. You're not responsible for the final fulfillment of it because you just make the recommendations. But I'm suggesting that when you are participating in this and putting something together, that the testing be on the agenda for you too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. There's no one else will proceed. The next item on the agenda is confirmation for the chairperson for 2017. Let me give you a little bit of background information on that. I was remiss in putting this item on the agenda in January because we had so many other things going on. And even though the Township Board agreed for me to continue as chairman for one more year, they needed this board or this committee to confirm that. So if you want me to leave the room, I'll leave the room, but I'm asking the members present if they wish me to continue as chair for the 2017 year.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
Woody, could you update us, if you could, on the...
What is it, 20th and 21st?
20 and 21st.
Okay, from the 9 to 4, both days. We have some people love to bring railroad ties, and they say these are decadent railroad ties. I don't care what kind of railroad ties you call them. They're going to have to not bring them.
Okay. Woody, do you have the list of the people who have volunteered to help out?
I've been out of,
Yeah.
I've been out of town, so no, I haven't. But it's the usual people that show up. Their husband shows up on Sunday, and I show up, and you show up and
Well, we have 4 periods of time. We have from 9
Pat
until.
shows up, Daryl shows up, they all show up.
Well, do you feel comfortable that there will be people there Saturday and Sunday from this committee to help out?
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
If they don't, then they're not. I've done one day I did both the front and the back. So people don't show. People have emergencies. So you gotta hitch it up and get there.
Do this, Mitch.
Yeah.
Would you agree to volunteer for either 4 hours on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or Sunday, or is he going to be tied up? That's the 19th, the
20th and 21st.
21st. Either one of those 4, there's 2 periods. Morning, afternoon on Saturday, or morning and afternoon on Sunday. Okay, please. Okay. Daryl, what?
I'll work Saturday morning.
Okay, Saturday morning.
Pat usually comes anyway with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll do Saturday afternoon.
Okay, I'll do Sunday morning.
Volunteer Jack for Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Okay.
Sunday, Jack.
Anybody else wants to show?
I've got an out-of-town wedding, but I'm not sure what time we're leaving on Saturday, so I'll let you know.
Who's going to do Sunday morning?
I'm doing Sunday morning.
Okay.
Is afternoon 1 to 4?
Yes.
12:30 to 4, something like that.
12:30 to 4.
And who's going to do Saturday morning again?
Daryl and Pat.
Carl? Okay.
We're going to give Pat. We're going to put Pat's name in there.
Okay.
She's listened to the recording, so she'll be really happy about
Okay.
that.
Now here's what we've got. We've got Daryl for Saturday morning, me for Saturday afternoon, Woody for Sunday morning, and Jack Frusci for Sunday afternoon.
I'll be with Jack. Don't be.
And if more can show up, we like to have 2, but at least we got one person covered for each area.
Mr. St. Pierre, I can volunteer. I'm not sure Saturday, depending on whether I have a game for lacrosse.
Why don't you check with your
No,
super-
I just did. I'm available anytime Sunday. So.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So what time would you want, morning or afternoon?
Morning, preferably.
Morning? Okay.
We'll see you there.
Oh, church.
Yeah.
After church.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Woody and I will be putting up the signs. This Thursday? We got the signs updated. So, and it's a yearly event. Everybody knows what to do, and it doesn't take much effort on our part to organize it. And it seems to be a very popular event.
Lenny's not here, I don't think, is he?
Who?
Lenny?
He just left. I'm sure Lenny will.
Yeah, he's supposed to be bringing 2 bins, one for aluminum and one for metal.
Oh, is he?
What we were talking about before.
Okay.
And then on the wood ones, we're going to put them, instead of sideways, we're going to try to put them so we can see what people are putting in. Because usually they submarine us sometimes and we don't know.
You mean we'll put them in the front
Yeah, we put them in the front.
at angles?
Like you drive in the driveway.
Yeah.
They're going to be going east and west versus north and south. Before it was east and west over behind the where the but DPS
Yes.
is okay. They used to have the ones right there sitting out front, but you could not see which people put in when they put it in
So you want them
sideways.
so that the rear end is facing outward.
Yeah, so both of them are going to be coming out, so we can see them put the stuff in.
Okay. I would suggest, Woody, if you want to get in touch with John Kime, who will probably be there and will be directing.
Well, maybe he's not, but he can move them around.
Okay, all right. Just so long as when they're
Silos,
placed, they'll be
yeah.
put in the right place, right there.
Pardon? Pardon?
I would say just as long as, it'd be nice if John was there, and he probably will be.
I can be there, but I don't know what time they come in.
Okay. Well, John will probably be there most of the day on Friday, I would think. So maybe we leave word with John to have them put it at an angle. Is that what you want? Am I correct?
I'd like to have them straight on.
Straight on? Okay.
Straight on. We're looking at them from the east to the west, this way, so we can see what they're slamming in on.
Okay. All right. We'll try that. Anything else, Woody, as far as the dump the junk?
No, it's only this, isn't it a week later that they have the?
Yes, we'll have the electronics.
And then the pollution stuff.
In Romulus, I believe. Is that? No, it's not Romulus. It's in June, I believe.
I thought it was one week.
I think it's June 10th, if I recall correctly, and I think it's in Dearborn.
Okay.
Dearborn, okay.
We should make arrangements to have Lorinda give us copies of flyers so we can hand them out at the meeting, at the event. If anybody wants to get rid of some electronic materials.
At the next meeting, I hope that, not our meeting, township meeting, they will announce it. The time it's supposed to be.
But I think we have flyers there that anybody comes in and wants to get information on electronic disposal or hazardous waste disposal, we can hand them a copy of the flyer, and we'll do that. Anything else?
Oh, I got this other thing, but
well, we do that at the end.
I'll wait to the end of this.
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
The ferry trail issue. Bert and I have been doing some work on that. Bert, is there anything new to report on that from your end?
No, the last time I talked to the property owner was the end of March, and he was continuing to work on his property, was not interested in selling it or allowing the trail to continue on his property. So that's about it.
What's it? Well, now, which one is that, Bert?
That's the trail that it goes through open space over on Island Boulevard, and I forget the name of the street.
That the one was always the controversial one?
Right.
But I think he, or who is he, was talking about some other trail that go into another location out. Now, he's not here, and he is, Carl talked about it, I think, on one of the meetings. So,
well, I wasn't here for the April meeting. I was out of town.
Yeah, there is.
I wasn't here at all.
Yeah, there is there's another property owner, and I won't mention the name for obvious reasons.
Sure.
Who might have who has some vacant a lot in that area, and is considering making that open space, that lot, available for sale to the Open Space Committee for a trail opening.
But
he's still thinking about it, but he'll let us know this summer, and I'll be in contact with him.
Okay, that's the one. It still goes from Island Drive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we have to do is, depending on the outcome of that proposal, we want to get the adjoining residents' ideas of expanding that trail to make it more or less a loop trail, and hopefully we can get an exit over to either Ferry Road or maybe to East River Road. But it's we're in negotiations right now, and the reason I may seem a little bit secretive about it is that I just don't want to tip the apple cart here and divulge people's names and put them into a spotlight, which we certainly don't want to do. But we are seriously working on this issue to try to find a resolution that pleases as many people as possible.
Cliff, a question?
Yes.
Is this property owner talking about a piece of property or an easement?
Right now, I think he's talking about a piece of property.
So we would buy more space than we need for just the trail.
Yes, it would be a lot, yes. Any other comments on that? If not, I urge all our committee members to, if they haven't done so as yet, is to review the open spaces that are assigned to them and report any issues that needed correcting. I'm particularly concerned about the Manchester area. I want to, either Mitch, maybe you can get together with Lenny. Lenny had to leave because he's on the fire council right now. But between you and him, set a date where both of you can go through that area, take a look at it, and see if there's anything that needs to be fixed or maintained.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So my husband and I walked the Manchester Trail about a week ago.
Oh, really? Oh.
And, just for recreation. But it looks great, but there are a lot of low spots there that are pretty wet.
Do they need some chips?
Yeah, I think they do. Because, people are now walking around them, so they're expanding into the Nat Trail part. And there's some nice wildflowers there, though.
Well, if that's the case, then what we should do, we should mark those low spots, and we can get probably T&T to come in there with a couple load of chips and dump them. So,
Okay.
Mitch, why don't you get with Bert, and she can tell you where those low spots were. We'll mark them with a stake, and we'll get T&T in there and dump a couple loads of chips.
Yep.
Okay? All right.
Cliff, I have a report too.
Yeah, well, I was coming to you. Go ahead.
I have one too.
I walked the Playscape Trail,
Okay.
and there are 2 trees that have fallen over the pathway. It's definitely a walkway for deer because there were all kinds of deer tracks along the trail. And there was some trash in the culvert or in the ditch that the culvert goes over. And I didn't have anything that I could reach and pick it up, but it would need some litter patrol. And definitely chips, but there's a pile of chips right at the entrance. So if we've got a crew that could spread the chips, and I had to wear some really old shoes to walk it because it's very mushy in spots, and it's so low, I think it would take more than chips, unless it was a big load, to fill in the low areas, which is really filled with water. So if T&T does tree clearing, it would be helpful if they could go in with a chainsaw and remove the 2 trees that are down over the trail.
All right, I'll get a hold of T&T and have them go out and...
Well, let them just, when they cut the trees, have them put them on the side of the trail.
Yeah, he'll just cut them down and drop them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've fallen over the trail, and then there's another tree that's not over the trail, but it's close enough that it should be cleared because some of the branches are kind of spread out over the trail. So when they're in there cutting the trees that have fallen over the trail, maybe they could clear this tree that's fallen at the side, and it's not really blocking the trail, but you have to watch out that you don't get hit by branches.
All right. Pam, could you mark... we have a load of chips sitting at the head of the trail. Mm-hmm. All right. So we should take half that load and move it to where the low spots are. All right. Can you mark where the low spots are with a stake or a little sign or something? Mm-hmm. And then I can get T&T to say, I want you to go in there and move the chips from where they are to these 2 spots, and also to cut the 2 trees that have fallen over the trail.
And they do chip spreading too?
No, I think, they could, but at a cost.
Oh.
Okay?
Well, we've got maintenance money.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
All right, we can have them spread the chips. Anything else, Pam?
That was basically it.
Okay, I'll get in touch with TNT tomorrow, and so they can set up a date when they can remove the chips and they can cut down the trees.
When do you want the low spots marked?
Well, as soon as possible. Okay. Yes, Woody.
Okay, who had responsibility of putting the mulch on the corner of Horse Mill and Park Lane?
I have no idea. I saw that myself. I know we didn't.
Somebody.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing it might have been the bike path committee, but I'm just guessing. I'm not sure.
The spreaders didn't spread it really nicely. You get that meeting, you just take a look and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, when I say the bike path committee, they dumped chips there once before at our request. We had a load
Right, I
put in for
understand,
them.
and
Yeah.
then some lady came in and spread it.
Yes.
I don't know if she was part of the bike guys, people. It was a woman and her son.
Okay. Well, what you're saying is that the chips have not been spread evenly.
No, not close.
It's like a small pile and not laid down like
Okay.
you'd think chips would be laid down.
I'd go over and rake it, but I'm not gonna do it in my shape today.
Why don't you call somebody from the bike path committee, and find out if they did dump the chips, if they could spread them out a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. As far as the Centennial Farm is concerned, that trail, you want some more chips put down?
Well, you need a lot. You need a lot because there's a lot of low spots in there that should be taken care of. But
well, what we can do is we can have TNT go in there and dump loads of chips where they should be dumped.
it's going to be pretty tough because we have to have an opening. There's going to be an opening to get in there with a truck. With a small truck, you could do it, but
Can the small truck do it?
yeah,
They tear it up though when they go.
they do. But
They have a front end loader that they built especially for the work that they did on the Manchester Trail.
that's what would have to use in there.
Who's got it?
That was built by TNT,
Okay.
and they own it. So we could ask them
To spread them.
to spread
in
the
the low
chips.
spots, yeah. The low spots are obvious when you go in there,
Okay.
but you can't do it when it's wet. You got to do it when it's dry.
Can't do it now. Would you have to wait until probably June?
June or July
Later.
when it really dries out good. I mean, all the trails should be manicured in June or July if we don't have any rain.
Okay, when would you want that done? When would you think would be a good time to do that?
Does it rain?
Probably July.
June, July?
First part of July.
Okay, well, why don't we do this? We'll call TNT.
But all the trails, I'd wait until they dry out
Yes,
because you'll do more damage going in there.
agreed.
You know.
Agreed. So we have some areas that we should take care of on the Manchester Trail, the Playscape, and the Centennial Farm Trail.
Right.
Why don't we take care of them all at one time during the month of July?
I think that'd be the best time to do it.
Okay. Does that sound reasonable?
Have all the low areas
What do you
marked.
think?
No.
Okay.
Do it all at once and get it over with.
Yeah.
But you need them staked now while
And
it's
then-
wet, right?
And
Yes.
then store up with the chips now.
Yeah.
Have 'em
All right,
dumped
let's
in
do-
front of the trails.
Okay, let's be very specific to Bert, your comments. First of all, go in there and stake the areas where you think chips should be dumped. Okay?
Right.
That goes for the Manchester Trail, the Centennial Farm Trail, and the Playscape. And then number two, I'll get in touch with TNT and tell them that to take during the month of, and then they can take with their dump truck, they can dump chips at the head of the trail.
At the head of the trail.
And then in July, go in and spread them.
That'd be the best way, yeah.
Okay?
You gotta have somebody walking with them so they just don't toss them.
Yes, we can do that. We can, when he decides, when he goes in and spreads the chips, one of us can be there and tell him where to put the chips.
Right.
Okay? And we'll do that during the month of July sometime.
Good idea.
Okay?
So, Cliff, with all this staking, is there a way that we can get the same stakes from someplace so that, we're not doing things willy-nilly and
Yes.
something standardized?
I think just temporary stakes. I'll get the stakes.
We use the stakes over and over once we get the.
How about
where they're gonna
rods?
Put them, then we take them out. and
Used for
put 'em some other place.
snow removal. We could stick rods in there. We could get rods, and then we could reuse them.
We don't need the rods because you're gonna have to pull them out.
Does John have, John Kime?
Have what?
I wonder, do the DPS have stakes or rods
Rods?
available?
Anything? Rods are easy to use. You just push them in the ground, especially now.
I'll get in touch with John.
Okay, but you're still gonna have to pull them out
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, you pull them out, but it's a lot easier. And then we can
Or
use
then we
them
can
over and
reuse
over
them. Let's
again.
not keep on
All right.
using them.
Okay, we'll have,
Give them some crazy color.
you probably need about at least, 10, 12 stakes or more.
Or more.
Enough or not?
Well, probably most of the stuff is obvious what it is, so you don't really have to.
Yeah, but if you stake it,
Yeah, well,
it'll
it'd be, okay.
I'll get in touch. I'll get in touch with John and see if he's got some stakes that we can use. We might need 4 for the Manchester, 4 for the Playscape, maybe 4 or 6 for the.
Cliff, I think you need a couple dozen.
Yeah, we need.
2 dozen.
Yeah, we need a lot.
Because I'm thinking, just looking at the Manchester Trail, there were some areas that were very large. If you want to stake the beginning and the end of it,
Yeah.
It's obvious now, but come July, it's not going to be obvious.
Okay. We'll get 2 dozen stakes. And they'll all be the same. And I'll have them distributed to you as soon as possible, as soon as I can get them. Okay.
Okay.
That's why you're the chairman, Cliff.
Yeah. Right.
I'll show you a sample of what I have that I think would work.
Okay. We don't have to. This isn't a difficult thing.
No, but I'll show you.
we can
I'll
get
show
2
you
dozen,
something
yeah,
that would be
okay,
very
fine.
obvious.
All
If you
right.
could see.
Okay, so let me repeat to make sure everybody is as far as everybody's going to look at their area and determine exactly what has to be done. And as far as placing the chips is concerned, we can place loads of chips at the trailhead, and then have the areas where the chips are going to be spread, have them staked out,
Right.
and then we'll have TNT come in when it's dry to come in and physically spread the chips.
Right.
Okay.
How many places do we have the chips sitting waiting right now?
I think there's one at the Playscape. Am I right,
I don't know.
Pam? There's a load of chips at the Playscape?
Nice, very big load, looks like it'd be enough
Okay.
to cover the trail.
Okay, so we got one. So we got that covered.
We don't have to bring them in anymore in there.
There. So we need some at Manchester, I would think. Do we need some more chips at the Centennial?
Yeah, I'd put some more in there,
Okay. So we
right
need,
close to the
okay.
entranceway.
So we need a couple of load of chips. One at the Manchester, and we'll need one at the Centennial Farm,
Right.
and we got the Playscape covered. So I think that's
Yeah.
all
Right.
right. Okay. Another item is that due to the fact that excuse me, that Pat Nielsen is unavailable and for a period of time while she's dealing with some health issues with her family. I've been trying to take care of the minutes, the welcome letters, and the wood cutting. And
I'm going to do the welcome letters.
you want to do the welcome letter?
I'll do the welcome.
Okay,
All I got to do is sign their name and address. That's all you got to do.
that's right. All right, so you're
I
going
can
to
handle that.
Pardon me?
I can handle that. I'm not
Okay.
brain dead on that one.
Okay. Okay, you'll handle the welcome.
But I also want to put something in the newsletter to the new owners of the property. The thing I sent you.
Yes.
Okay, I want to tell it now.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
This is what I want to send to the new owners of the property. Now you have several choices of flushing out your sanitary sewer. Number one, do nothing or play roulette. Go to the hardware store. There's a couple of things that you can pick up there. Products to burn the roots and the system to flush out for sanitary sewer, mostly made of paper products. 3, have the sewer cleaned out. I had my sewer cleaned out, and I played roulette for 35 years. But I did number 2 a lot of the years, and I'm still doing the flushing this year. That's what I want to put in the letter. So the people who buy these houses understand that they got to have to do something, or they're going to play roulette and find out when it happens they got a mess.
All right. Okay. Let's do it.
Let me just say one thing. Joe Keefe from the Wastewater Treatment Department spoke at the Groseal Nature and Land Conservancy Earth Day event, and he did mention that these so-called flushable wipes that are becoming in use more often now.
They're starting to pack it in.
Right. They're not really flushable. They cause a lot of problems with the wastewater treatment plant, so people should not be using them.
That was a major problem in motors in their pump stations were all clogged with these so-called washable, flushable.
Throw them in the trash. Don't throw them in the john or throw them down the tube.
I think we should put that notice along with the welcome letter, the notice that you talked about, in the form of a letter to just, stick it in there along with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
We could also add what Bert came up with, is take your flushables and throw them in the trash, not in the john.
Okay.
I would suggest that we run something by Joe, just to make sure what we're saying is
Joe who?
Joe Keefe from Wastewater Treatment Plant.
Okay, the guy who runs it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just so that what we're saying is what they want people to know.
Let's catch it all at one time. Let's not keep writing it.
Hey, I'll tell you what, let's draft a letter, an appropriate letter, and
I'll go down and talk to him.
yeah, but we'll draft a letter to be included after we talk with Joe, to be included along with the welcome letter that we were that we're sending
So
to
the
new
people,
residents.
who buy these houses,
Yeah. Now you know that you're to include a copy of the open space Greenways nature guide.
well, you got to give that to me.
All right, I'll give it to you tomorrow, or when I see
How many
you
you
Thursday.
got? You got to have a lot.
I got about 100.
You're going to have to make more because last month you had about 24. So I can go through 24 in 3 months, 4 months.
Well, I'll give you 100, and then I think we're gonna have to order some more, or have some more made.
Well, unless you don't want to send them.
No, we'll send them. I'll get those to you Thursday, Woody.
Pardon?
I'll give you the
Okay,
guides Thursday.
that's fine.
All right. Okay.
How big of an envelope do we have to send all this stuff?
I'll have the complete. I got a complete box that I'll bring over to your house.
Okay,
I got the envelopes.
how big are the envelope? Regular letter
8.5
size?
by 11.
Huh?
8.5 by 11.
Okay, they're a big
Yeah,
envelope.
and then what you do is you take those envelopes, you bring them down to the township,
And they mail them.
and they mail them.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to mail them.
Oh. Okay. When I see you Thursday, I'll show you how this is done, okay?
Okay, good.
Okay. No, I would, yeah, it's very easy to do.
I like that part.
Okay. Now, as far as minutes of the meetings is concerned, anybody here want to temporarily take over the minutes?
Nobody's jumping up, but I'm not. I guess
And,
Pat's not here. Oh, she can write. She can take them from home.
I'll ask Lenny if he can take the minutes.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Now, wood cutting information. Woody, you want to continue to do that?
yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. All right.
I pass stuff along the.
So
back.
I'll ask Lenny if he can, at least until Pat gets back, to take over the minutes of the
Oh, she, I don't
meeting.
think she might be back, so you got to make sure you got to get a guy, person that's going to do it, and you need more people. How many people are we missing now? How many are we short?
Well, Pam is the only one that's going to be off for a little while,
Okay,
and Carl is off tonight.
I know that, but up here, I'm talking about up here, not Carl. Carl's is the liaison. How many are we missing here? Pat, and that's it?
Yes.
I thought there would be more. I thought there was more. Okay.
Pat hasn't resigned, she's just taking a leave.
She said she submitted a resignation, and then
Carl Jidler.
her husband improved a little bit, and so she had second thoughts about resigning. She wants to stay. It's not something that she wants to do, but it's something that she has to do. Okay.
And I would take secretary, but I'm already secretary of 2 other organizations.
Well, yeah. Okay. All
Me
right.
too.
So I'm going to ask Lenny if he'll take it. Mitch, is there anything else that you would like to be doing?
I don't know. Possibly, I might ask you if you have anything else, but as of right now, there's nothing I can think of doing. Possibly, I'll talk to you after the meeting if you need anything.
All right, fine. Thank you. All right. Is there any other items that we should bring up? Mitch, do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Daryl?
We're good.
Okay. Bert?
Another thing that came up on Earth Day was Colleen Gimple, who is a retired kindergarten teacher from Park Lane Elementary, announced that Park Lane Elementary School is going to be Grosse Ile's first Michigan Green School. So that's a program that's been around for quite a few years in the state, and schools have to achieve a certain number of points, and then they get designated as a green school. So congratulations to them, and I think more info is coming out about that.
They'll have a nice banner that school can fly so people can see it. They go by and designate it as a green school.
Ann, you have anything else?
Well, I mentioned there's going to be a new newspaper in town.
Yeah, what's all that about?
Well, it's going to be called the Grosse Ile Grand. It's going to be free. It's going to be delivered to every household on Grosse Ile.
How much is it going to cost?
Mid-month.
What's the cost?
It's a free delivery.
Now, what's that going to do as far as the Trenton Times is concerned? Because once a month in their paper, they have a whole section dealing with Grosse Ile news.
I was writing for the Trent Writing Club columns, and people could send in news items, and they were good enough to pick up where the Eel camera left off 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the gentleman, he lives on Grosse Ile. He has an office in Riverview, and they publish right now the Shopper's Savvy, which is totally advertising, and that's distributed around the whole downriver area.
When is this new newspaper supposed to start publication?
Press date is Friday, and he said it's going to be distributed and it'll come out once a month, and he's looking for news, and a couple of us from the Creative Writing Club are writing for it, and I'm supposed to cover township government.
Okay, will that duplicate what the Trenton Tribune is doing now?
Well, I don't know whether Joe Horshaw, who is good enough as editor of the Trenton Trib and gave us a section of the Trenton Trib called the Island Beacon, whether he's going to continue to cover Grosse Ile News now that there is a new newspaper in town. We'll see.
Yeah, Evelyn Carnes is hopping on board,
Yeah.
so she's going to help out with the newspaper.
He's going to have school happening on the township.
Right.
A little more school news, and Boshaw over at the Trenton Trib liked all positive news, and he didn't run obituaries.
Right.
And people have said they lost a good neighbor that they didn't know about, and I think the newspaper,
Right. Evelyn Carnes is real excited about it, about starting the paper.
Woody, do you have anything else?
No, I have nothing. I gotta go see, who has Joe's number? I can get it from Township. Okay, I'll get it from Township, and then go talk to him and see what he can write up, and we put it all together and ship it to the new owners, homeowners. Everybody knows what the hell's going on. Or if they don't want to, then they play roulette.
If not, entertain a motion.
I
Motion it.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.